This is my automated gyro wheel project. I had one of these gyro wheels and I wanted to make it automatically operate so I wouldn't have to do it myself. And it uses Arduino Uno, a single server, and a homemade switch that I'll explain in a minute. And right now we'll plug it in, turn it on, and see if it works. What is happening is when the gyro wheel comes down here, it's magnetic and it will pull this Bic spring or ballpoint pen spring over to hit the frame, and it makes contact, and so I have 3 volts going through this spring, and it goes into the Arduino and it says, oh, we've made contact here, so it sends a signal to the servo to position the frame at 90 degrees. And then the program says wait for 1.2 seconds and then come back down and start the process over again. And so it's I'm surprised the cycle is pretty consistent. And I thought that because of imperfections in the wheel and the magnet that the timing would be an issue. But this is a very simple setup. I have an idea for a more advanced system using reed switches or Hall effect switches that will be attached to the frame, and there'll be no need for this mechanical switch. By doing that, I can change the direction, change the speed, and do some other things that are a lot more interesting than just this simple cycle here. Just a few more details on how I constructed this machine. I used a fishing pole for the axle, and I used a piece of aluminum bracket to mount the frame to the axle. And this big ugly piece of metal here is just a counterweight so that the servo does not have to work so hard when it's swinging the frame, the gyro frame, back and forth. As far as the switch here, it's just, as I said, a ballpoint pen spring hot glued onto another piece of fishing pole, hot glued onto this corner bracket. And the circuit here, I have the 3.3 volts running into the switch, into this spring. And when this frame swings down and this rolls around, the axle is magnetic, and it will slightly pull in this spring, and it makes contact with the frame, which is connected to the Arduino via this wire, so it completes the electrical circuit. So it's just a simple off and on switch. And so when it comes down, it pulls it in, it makes contact, it tells the computer program, oh, swing this the frame up vertical, and then the program waits for 1.2 seconds, and then the servo will swing the frame back down, and this thing will, the wheel will roll around, and the axle will make contact again, pull the spring in, and it starts a new cycle, and it just does that over and over. One other point, this servo is a standard size servo, so it's quite powerful. This is a typical microserver that I use in my radio controlled airplanes. And this standard size servo is this microserver probably wouldn't be powerful enough to drive the frame back and forth. So standard size servo, it's got quite a bit of torque. And I think that is all my tricks.